challenging to summarize my experience from this course, especially after our day of collective reimaginings. It feels like my whole being is still processing, and I don't fully have the words for it at this point, as it is so internal. What I know today is that I am forever changed, and what has left the greatest impact is learning to embody two opposing forces at the same time, to withstand the space between the hauntings of the past and reimagining how the future can be different. This space is much like my contrasting practices of hot yoga and cold water exposure, both so extreme and opposing to one another. Yet it's through these practices that I am learning to live in dualities and the importance of not getting stuck in one or the other, to honor the contrasting energies of the fire and water that reside within me. It is what one of my dear friends calls being a sacred rebel, the living in the space between a soft tenderness and a wild rebellion. It's the learning to hold steadiness in comfort and discomfort, between river and riverbed, phoenix and ashes, between my flesh and my bones, the space where I carry the stories of my ancestors and where I create my own, where I don't always know where I'm going, but I know where I've been. It's the knowing I will sometimes get things right, but many times get things wrong. The space between the rise and the fall, the being and the becoming. It's the space between what Audre Lorde speaks of in Poetry is Not a Luxury, as namelessness and formless, about to be birthed, but has already been felt. It's knowing how to dance between the rigidity of the institutions and oppressive systems while still accessing their resources, because we all still undeniably depend upon them in one way or another. It is also about holding the space between things that bring me comfort to do the work and learning to be uncomfortable with doing the work. It's learning the differences between the comforts of self-care and the comforts of remaining in a place of privilege. It's what Christina Sharp contrasts between chaos and control, as she writes, "If the ceiling was falling down and you couldn't do anything about it, what you could do was grow and arrange peonies, tulips, and zinnias." It is between the deep listening to the stories that have been silenced and raising my voice to help bring down the systems that have silenced them. It's the space between not being attached to outcomes and working to find solutions. It's knowing how complex this work is, but continuing to do the work anyway. It's knowing the practice and process of social justice never ends. That this is a new beginning of seeing, feeling, embodying. And these teachings are forever within me. In the space between my breath in and my breath out.